On the August episode of The Purposely Broken World, we're going to talk about disability pride. What is it? Is it a real thing? Is it fake? Is it just an Instagram reel? Is it just a hashtag? Are we trying to piggyback off of the LGBTQ Pride month of June? Let's talk about that today on The Purposely Broken World. The following is a part of Uchi Productions. All comments expressed are strictly that of Kevin Nunez and his guest. Thank you for your time and enjoy the show. I am Kevin Nunez, the host of the flagship show. Do you know that 1 in 4 Americans are diagnosed with some form of disability? At least according to the CDC. Well, guess what? I am your new disability buddy. On this show, we will discuss how disability, faith, and society always interact with each other, even though no one wants to talk about that. This show is designed to give you more questions than answers. It's designed to help you have a conversation around your dinner table. If you're into that kind of thing, this is the show for you. Laugh, live, and love while you listen or watch this podcast. See you soon. Hello, wonderful humans, and welcome back to another episode of The Purposely Broken World. I hope you guys are having a wonderful, delicious summer, eating a lot of ice cream and Rita's Italian ice. There's a difference. There are different things. Hope you guys are eating a lot of cake and sugar and watching baseball, going to the beach, and doing all the fun stuff people do in the summer. I want to thank you for clicking on this episode. I know there's a lot of good, more interesting podcasts out there. So anytime I spend with you, I really, really appreciate it. This is, for the most part, a one-man website. Yes, I have a small team who really helps me out with some stuff, but as you probably figured out, it really is mostly just me and my big brother Jesus talking to you guys and hopefully delivering a good message. On the August episode of The Purposely Broken World, we're going to talk about disability pride. What is it? Is it a real thing? Is it fake? Is it just an Instagram reel? Is it just a hashtag? Are we trying to piggyback off of the LGBTQ Pride month of June? Let's talk about that today on The Purposely Broken World. Is that a mistake? No. I am recording this in the middle of July, getting ready, and you guys will see this August 1st. The reason why I'm going to do an episode on disability pride in the month of August is because, simply put, after July, even during July, people forget about disability pride. So why not bring it back again, even though most people are either done celebrating it or don't even know about it at all. There are some things about disability pride that people need to know about. People need to know about disability history. People need to know about the disability struggle. People need to know that people with disabilities have faith. People with disabilities need to be known as people in their communities. They need to be seen as equal members of their society. People with disabilities have rights. They are Americans. They are Christians. They are Jewish. They are black. They are white. They are Muslim. They are atheist. They are everything. They're Asian. They're Latino. They're Italian. They're every color under the sun. If that is the case, then why are we still the most underserved and underrepresented portion of American society? That's right. Once again, this is a podcast not afraid to delve into the topics no one wants to talk about. Do we begin with the ADA? Do we begin with President Kennedy and his sister, who was a suspected epileptic? That's the only reason why people even started leaving institutions in the first place. Did you even know that President Kennedy's sister had suspected epilepsy? Are you old enough to remember that Geraldo Rivera did the first expose in the mid-80s regarding disability institutions and the horrors that happen in those places? We have a lot to talk about here in this episode, because people with disabilities are people first. Only we're not seen as people first. Let's start with the 504 sit-ins. Judy Humann, known basically as the mother of disability rights, who just recently passed away, basically encouraged and led the charge, along with Brad Lomax and Katie Keene, to the 504 sit-in. Section 504 was a law in the discrimination that was passed that you couldn't discriminate against people with disabilities. This was a law in word only. The law had no enforcement, had no way to sue for rights. So, after a few years that it was passed, Judy Humann and her cohorts got together and they occupied not Wall Street, but the welfare office in San Francisco for approximately 28 days, with about 200 or so disability advocates. They went without medication. They went without personal care attendants. They basically took care of each other. The Black Panthers eventually came in and gave them food, because they were literally starving because they had no food. But they did it. That was the first real disability legislation that was passed and implemented. Going back to institutions, the places that people don't like to talk about, but we should, those are just, even today, jails with fancy names. Okay? You have 30 individuals for like 3 staff, and you're basically in a jail. Yes, we do need more medical group home facilities. Yes, we do need more licensed behavioral facilities. But these people are locked away without due process. They literally committed no crime. Their rights are taken away. How would you like it if I locked you in a room and say you're going to live here for 30 years, knowing you did nothing wrong? You do not deserve this. You didn't kill somebody. You're not falsely accused of a crime. You didn't rape anybody. In fact, truth be told, odds are somebody raped you while you're in the institution. If you think this is a new thing, back in 2020, a medical group home facility, a very large one, was essentially shut down and made CNN News because there were dead bodies. Look it up, do some research. I'll put some links in the show notes for you. But yeah, this still happens today in one of these facilities. But again, it's not a sexy story, so it's not really covered anywhere. It's not on your Instagram reel. What is on your Instagram reel? A little girl going on a date to a guy with a prom. Think about that for a second. That is literally called inspiration porn. The idea that people with disabilities either A, only exist to be pitied, or B, only exist to inspire you and make your life better. Either way is wrong, because we're not seen as a full individual person with flaws. Let's think about this. A person messes up. A person is wrong. A person is right. Probably at least 3 times a day. But people with disabilities, we simply don't matter. We simply don't exist. Okay, yes, we have movies like Crip Camp, as I mentioned before. We have movies like Coda, which I've mentioned before. That's fine. That's wonderful. God bless them. But why do these institutions still exist? Why are people still getting raped? We all know LGBTQ marriage rights are wonderful. I stand for them. I respect for them. I'll fight for them. But I can't even get married, as I've said in previous podcasts. I have a $3,000 asset limit. Tell that to your wife. Honey, we can only have $3,000 a month, maximum in the bank account. We have to hide any money we make in under the mattress, like a criminal. Don't play the stock market. It counts against you. Oh, here's a fun one. Don't have a kid, because if you have a kid and you eventually want to get health insurance for your son or daughter, that is an asset that counts against you. How crazy is that? That's America? That's the American dream? Stop and think about that for a second. The average cost of an accessible vehicle is $60,000. The average cost of a year-long caregiver is $50,000. No wonder some people want us dead. Because, oh yes, and I did say that. I will not edit that out. Some people will never say it out loud, but they want people with disabilities dead. That is why disability pride matters. It's not about hiding yourself anymore. It's about accepting your disability and being proud of the person, the man, woman, or however you choose to identify. Be proud of who you are as a complete human being. We have fought for this right. Okay? The U.S. Constitution, a document every person should know. They don't, but they should. Has several assurances. Do you know that there is a current law in the New Jersey state legislature that will put up cameras in group homes? A camera should be used to protect individuals, not take away their privacy. If you have a guest over, They are given a form to fill out, letting them know that they will be recorded. A camera will not stop a death. It will not stop harm. It will only allow parents or caregivers or family to relive the horror after the fact. And you're gonna sue? Sue for what? Even if you had $1 million or $50 million, that's still not gonna bring back the love of your loved one. They're still dead. Why aren't we valued? Why can't we have pride? Here's a fun question. We all know the LGBTQ rainbow flag. Someone in the comments, anyone, let me know, what are the colors of the disability pride flag? Somebody in the comments, tell me what they stand for. Do you know? Did you even know we have a flag? Look it up. Google it. Instead of Googling up a cupcake recipe, Google the disability pride flag. Google Judy Humann. Google Brad Lomax. Google Katie Keene. Google the first disabled president. Yeah, we had one. Oh wait, nobody knows that because he was specifically told to hide his disability. So as far as I'm concerned, we still haven't had a disabled president because the only president we had that was disabled was physically told to hide it. Yes, in movies now, he's portrayed as a crippled. He's portrayed as riding around in his wheelchair. Newsflash, he would purposely sit behind his desk to hide his wheelchair. He would wear these extremely tight orthotics when he stood up to create this illusion that he could stand up. Newsflash, he couldn't. In the White House, now there's a pool. You wonder why it was there in the first place? It was there for therapeutic reasons, not to get rays in the sun. He wasn't there with Monica Lewinsky smoking cigars. The best president we ever had died in office making sure others were free. But he's not recognized as a disability hero. Ladies and gentlemen, wake up. If you think I'm wrong, if you think I'm being too harsh, let me give you some examples from my life. But before I do, I'm deliberately going to pause here. If you like this content, support the podcast with a monthly subscription. It really, really helps out. It really makes a difference. You're not paying me. You're just making it easier for me to produce these episodes for whoever listens to them. I'm going to go back and tell you about some experiences I had where I clearly felt discriminated against my own disability. People hated me because of my disability. They felt uncomfortable because of my disability. Let's start with what I consider the most hateful one. I know children of the future will not understand this, but there was a time where people would go to the mall in January to actually spend time with their friends. I was there with my brother, who is also disabled. I was there with my caregiver and his caregiver. So there were 4 of us. We were exiting an elevator because we wanted to walk around before the movie. That's something people did. They used to walk. I don't walk, but I've watched people walk all my life. You can't tell me God doesn't exist, because the human body has to work in such perfection, in such order, in order to get our muscles to walk. You can't tell me that was random. You can't tell me that that was not a magnificent design. Anyway, back to the topic. We are exiting the elevator. A father looks at his son and says, "Son, thank God you're not like them." He literally stopped and thanked the Almighty Creator in front of me, where I could visibly see him. Look, I understand. Nobody wants disability. Yes, it's okay to thank God that you're not using wheelchair every day of your life. I get that. But if the sight of me and my brother are so offensive to you that you have to stop right then and there to thank God, that kind of goes against the entire thing about following God and, I don't know, loving others. I just wanted to throw it out there. The one time I was again going through Walmart, because who doesn't go through Walmart, with my father. We were buying stuff, as people do. I was paying attention. I was going in the aisle. Some man was totally on his phone and deliberately walked right into me. He was basically on my lap, in a position that resembled Magic Mike. I've never been this close to a man in my entire life. It was not only awkward, but the part that made me most upset was I got the fakest apology. "Are you okay? I'm so sorry." Things like that bothered me. My personal favorite story. I was, as an adult, going down the Atlantic City boardwalk. By the way, I live in Jersey, if you didn't already notice. And I had just left the casino. I lost like $30, no big deal. It was a beautiful summer day, just like you all are having in August, I'm sure. And I'm there with my caregiver. We just left the casino and we sat by some benches just to sit down and enjoy the sun, when two men came up to me and asked me to pray with them. Now, I am a man of God. I'm proud to say I'm a Christian. I'm a new Christian, newly saved. To God be the glory. But this was before then, before I was saved. But even then, I knew something was wrong. I'm not going to deny someone a chance to pray. Everyone needs to pray. So I gave them my hands and then figured, okay, let's pray. This two gentlemen literally got my hand and asked God to take out the demon that was in my life so that I could walk. Yes, there are demons. Yes, there's evil. And yes, Jesus did heal many people. But did you ever realize, as they say in John 9:3-4, neither he or his parents sinned? This is done so the work could be done. Sometimes you have to suffer in life a little bit in order to grow. Read your Bibles. Romans 8:18. I consider my present sufferings nothing compared to the glory of God that awaits me later. I know I probably messed up the quote, but you get the idea. I'm not a preacher, I'm just saying. Sometimes you have to suffer a little bit to grow later. No tree grows without being a seed first. People with disabilities deserve to be seen as people. We deserve to be seen as prideful people, being proud of our whole selves, because God doesn't make mistakes. Sorry, He doesn't. I know it's tough. I know it's not easy. I've had my own struggles with depression. If you want to know more about that, check out the July episode of the Purposely Broken World. That's literally about depression and sadness and being stuck in a black hole. So, I think I'm going to wrap this up here. I know I probably said a lot. But I hope you guys take something from it. Please consider supporting the podcast. Please like us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Those are the three main avenues for the Advocacy Life podcast blog network. We are available on all major podcast platforms. Thank you all for your time. If you take something from this, you can review us, leave a voice memo. On Spotify. Reviews really make a difference. Likes make a difference. On YouTube. Thank you for your time. Have a wonderful day. I will see you guys in the next episode. Let me know what you think about the new intro and outro. As of this episode. All comments are welcome. Yes, even the haters, because I know I'm going to get them at some point after this episode. Thank you so much. Have a great day. Bye. This has been another episode of the Purposely Broken World, part of the Advocacy Life podcast network. The Purposely Broken World will air 2 episodes a month. If you like this episode, please consider supporting the podcast by clicking in the link in the description. Every little bit helps. Please follow our social media accounts on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. All comments are welcome. Thank you so much for your time. Have a blessed day, and see you very soon.